Hi guys, it's Mrs. Kushner, and today we are going to take a look at how to write a thesis statement. Make sure you have your notes ready to go, and let's get started. So in this video, you will learn specifically how to write a clear thesis for an argumentative paper. We're very familiar with writing thesis statements for a general type of paper, an informational paper, and here we're going to tweak it specifically for an argumentative piece. Now, a thesis statement, as you know, states your main argument, and it's also going to briefly describe how you will prove that argument. And we're going to use a structure, like I said, that's slightly different than we are used to. We're going to use the concession, claim, reasons structure. We're used to the second part, claim and reasons. We're adding on that third part of the concession. Let's take a look at what this looks like in action. So here's an example. Although surveillance cameras may be expensive, schools should install them because they increase safety, reduce vandalism, and keep both teachers and students accountable for their actions. Now, the first piece that I mentioned is the concession. And a concession is an acknowledgement, or it's an allowance. When you make your concession, what you're doing is you are recognizing the opposite side's most important counterargument. And in the case of surveillance cameras, most schools' number one concern is going to be, I can't afford it. So we're going to acknowledge that up front by saying, although surveillance cameras may be expensive, we're getting it out of the way. Hey, I know this is your worry. I hear you. Then we're going to make our claim. And our claim, like you're used to, sweet, short, clear. Schools should install them. And then last, you're going to give your reader that preview of what reasons are you going to argue in your paper for why schools should install them, even if they're expensive. And let's label those in blue. So we have 3 reasons we're going to cover: increase safety, reduce vandalism, keep both teachers and students accountable. All right, let's look at another example just to build up your mental bank. So here's another example. Despite the fact that buying locally grown food can be inconvenient, we should make an effort to eat local because it's better for our health, it supports our local community, and it benefits the environment. This time, I want you to take a stab at highlighting this one the way we did the last one, to match concession, claim, and reasons. And then I'll show you the answer. All right, let's see how you did. Did you get the same thing? So our first part, our concession, despite the fact that buying locally grown food can be inconvenient, we're acknowledging that people are going to say, I don't have time to do that. Then we're going to make our claim, we should still make an effort to, and finally give our 3 reasons. All right, lastly, one final example. Even though serious behavior problems need serious consequences, schools should not suspend students. This practice creates academic problems. It leads to further disciplinary issues, and to some students, it can feel more like a reward than a punishment. Now, I wanted to show you this example specifically because if you notice, this is 2 sentences. Up until now, you have probably been taught that a thesis sentence should be only 1 sentence and no longer. However, when we add that concession piece to our thesis, it can make it be longer. And that could be a really long sentence. So you have the choice of splitting it into 2 sentences. In that case, you're going to get rid of the word because, usually. You're going to put a period. And then you're going to create a whole separate sentence for the reason. So the first sentence in this case is our concession claim duo. Even though serious behavior problems need serious consequences, schools should not suspend students. And then a separate second sentence presents the reasons by saying this practice creates and then discussing the 3. All right. In this lesson, you have learned how to write a thesis statement specifically for an argumentative paper. Finally, take action now. Write a question about today's lesson on your notes. Now, if you're thinking, but I don't have a question, I want you to imagine the question that a classmate would have. Where would they get confused and what question would they ask? That's the question you should write down instead. All right, great work today, and I will see you next time.